What is happening, guys and gals? Joe Badger here, your money mentor, where we have deep pockets and short arms, and where I help you with my nearly 40 years of experience with investing, business, and finance, because money never sleeps. What I got for you today are some great long-term solid investments for life. In fact, this is a follow-up on a previous video that I did where I laid out some great investments for life that you definitely should have in your portfolio. This is a follow-up because the financial landscape has changed and because we have some additional investments. Also, I want you to stick around till the end because we have a big bonus for you. So let's get into these great, solid, long-term investments that you definitely should at least consider or own in your portfolio. FHLC, that's where you want to be. Fidelity Healthcare Index ETF, a great long-term investment. Why? I think you want to be in healthcare in the future. Healthcare has kind of been lagging. It's a little bit cheap right now. You may have heard of a lot of these names when it comes to its top 10 holdings in the news lately, especially with talks of the vaccines. We got Johnson & Johnson, we got Pfizer, Abbott Labs, Merck, Eli Lilly. This is a large blend ETF that has outperformed its peers, except for a Vanguard ETF, which is about equal, except that the Fidelity ETF has a lower expense rate at 0.08%. This is a 4-star ETF and has been around since 2013. Once again, healthcare is a great place to be in the future and long term, and I think you need to be in this index fund. The next one is VUG, VUG, which is a Vanguard Growth Index Fund ETF. Another great choice, especially for long term. We're talking 5 to 10 years here. This one is also passively managed. Thus, we get a very low expense rate of 0.04 cents, while at the same time, we have a 4-star rating and a $75 billion cap. Two big things that I really like about this fund is, one, it's an index fund. It's going to follow the index, so that's great. Number two, it's an ETF, or it's a collection of a lot of stocks and a lot of really great, solid, strong stalwarts. When we pull up the top 10 holdings, we're going to see names like Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, all of those really good, strong ones that you want to be in, but you want to be in as a collection as opposed to individually. This is a large cap growth index ETF, and what I really love about this one, the short term, the midterm, the long-term sentiment, all very, very strong. This is a solid investment. IEMG, do you EMG? IEMG is the iShares Emerging Market ETF. This is also an index fund as well, so you're safe there. Like I was talking about earlier, you want to be in healthcare. In this case, in the future, you want to be in international, or at least a small portion of your investment money. And here's why. For a long time now, and I mean like 10 years, and if we look at this chart, you'll see that it keeps hitting certain highs and just won't break out of those certain highs for a long period of time, for like 10 years. And finally, the international emerging markets have broken out. And I think they have a long way to go. And there's some good growth here for the long term. This particular fund is focused a lot in Asia. It covers large, mid, and small cap stocks. It covers the global emerging markets. And the expense ratio is 0.11%. When you're investing with ETFs in general, you really don't want to be just trading them like daily. These are more hold, long-term kind of financial products. They're not the latest hot thing that you're going to make a quick buck on. These are long-term, and you're going to be rewarded with patience. Also, when you buy these, I would suggest use limit orders and not market orders. That's just a better way to trade these so that you can determine the price you want to buy and also the price you want to sell. But don't forget the IEMG solid long-term investment for life. On these videos, I'm always working to give you guys a little extra, a little bonus. So the bonus for sticking around this time is CNBS. What is CNBS? Once again, it's another ETF. But there's a new market out there, literally an emerging market. In other words, it's brand new, not even a year old. It is cannabis. Cannabis and the hemp ecosystems. Now, you got to ask yourself about these. With the new climate, the new global climate and financial outlook, we have a whole new industry cropping up. And where do you want to be as this industry emerges and takes off? So you have to ask yourself, is this industry likely to stick around, or are the global laws going to be repealed? I would guess they're not going to be repealed, and that cannabis and hemp are going to stick around. Now, out of the available ETFs, I think that CNBS is at the top of the heap. It's a small growth stock ETF, but compared to the others, it's large at 147 million cap. It's not cheap at a 0.75% expense ratio. And the most recent distribution was 10 cents per share. However, in the last 52 weeks, what do we have? 116% growth. Now, I've been watching the cannabis ETFs. I mean, all of them, not just CNBS. And they've been very volatile. In one day, I remember they went up like 30%. But then they came down, they came back, they were crushed and killed. But I do not think these are going away. Once they even out, once they become a little more stable, I think you want to be here. In fact, if it's a little too volatile for your taste, a good thing to do is to put these on a watch list and keep an eye on them for the next 6 months to a year and see which one of the horses are really leading. The other good thing about this, it is a managed fund, and that's why you're going to be paying a little bit more at the expense ratio, but you're going to get somebody keeping an eye on this thing. It doesn't follow an index. Once again, this is emerging, it's new, so it's going to be a little risky, but at the same time, you might get a little bit of reward for it. And keep in mind, this is a future forward-looking stock, a new industry to get in on. There you have it. And if you combined my previous video with the solid picks for long-term investments, along with these, I think you have a lot of really great choices of investments that are going to work for you and grow over time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. But that's all I got for you. Now get back to work because money never sleeps. I'll talk to you later.